Hello.
Hello, Judy. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, and you?
Yes, fine. Yes,
But
excellent.
I cannot see you.
No, I don't have a webcam thing.
Ah, all right. So,
Sorry.
how's been your day?
It's good. I've just cleaned the entire computer desk and half the room, so I'm feeling very noble.
All right. And just to not forget about it, there is a gentleman who sends his hello to you. His name is Dave Ball, and I guess you know him.
Dave Ball. Um, Rings a bell. Yes.
He played with Procol Harum. He he pl-
Oh right.
he played with Bedlam.
Oh right. Okay. I've got a terrible memory for names. Do say hello back, and it's lovely to hear from him.
Yeah, I will. This week I'm working as a kind of web postman for the people because I was in touch with John Fiedler from Medicine Head,
Oh right.
and
Yes.
he said say hello to Dave.
So who?
Dave yesterday said say hello to Greg Lake on Friday. So
Oh, right. So who are
like
you who are you
yeah,
talking to next?
I think either Fiedler or Lake.
All right. Well,
Uh,
do say hello to Greg for me.
no problem. I was hoping for Jim McCarthy from Yardbirds,
Oh, right.
but
Yes.
he keeps on disappearing uh,
Oh,
after having agreed
oh,
to,
that's a
to,
shame. Yes, he's busy man though. I guess he chats quite nicely on Facebook. But I haven't spoken to him.
yeah, but I love his work very much. Not so much maybe as a drummer because it takes much more attention to value anyone as a drummer,
Yeah.
but as a composer because
Yeah.
I hope you know his work with a group called Illusion.
I don't think I do. No,
Uh,
there's
he
so
he
many
yeah
groups I
he
haven't
he
heard.
he started a renaissance after the
Yeah.
Yardbirds, and
Yeah.
after that he started Illusion with Jane Ralph,
Oh, right. Yes.
and
Yes.
he wrote two beautiful ballads. They had two albums out, and I just love his singing and his playing acoustic guitar and his composer style.
Yeah, I remember him when he was was he in the Yardbirds as well as Renaissance. I know he's been in sort of every single band that's brilliant.
But in the Yardbirds he co-wrote this piece called "Still I'm Sad." Uh,
Yes.
I think that the only song that was recorded by such different bands as Boney M, this dance
Yeah.
band from Germany, and Richie Blackmore's Rainbow.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful song. A
Yeah.
beautiful song, that one, yes. Yes. I mean we did used to natter on Facebook a bit, but you know what happens with Facebook? If you've got too many friends, it tends not to let you see updates from half the people you know. So I kind of lose track of people,
Uh,
which is a shame.
I'm trying to keep track. I don't follow the news, political news, everything that goes around. But sometimes it's friends from abroad who ask me what's the current situation here on the borders of Israel. I say I don't know, but I can tell you who's releasing a great album this week.
Oh yes, the important things.
Yeah, yeah. And the
Yes.
most important thing for me this week is that I'm alone here, and it's
Yeah.
a bit heavy for me because I haven't spent a single night separate from my wife
Oh.
for the last I don't know
Oh.
six and something years. The only 3 nights we were separate, it was when she was in hospital after giving birth.
Oh right. Oh well, that's nice. But
Yes. So, Judy, how much time do we have today?
well, as long as you like, until I run out, till I start saying the same thing twice, I guess.
All right. Let me start with this interesting quote. Uh, Judy is a semi-fairy tale character. It was on that Treasure's Horn album.
Yes,
Uh,
that was the lovely Brian Patton. Do you know his works? He's a very well-known poet, a British poet. He was a part of um, the Liverpool Poets with Roger McGough and Adrian Henry.
I'm afraid I'm not so much familiar with modern British poetry because I know classical poets, but no, not modern ones.
Right. He was also in Grimm's, the band Grimm's, which is a 60s band with Andy Roberts and various other people. But he's an absolutely wonderful poet, and he happened to be living in the flat next door to me. And I asked him to write sleeve notes, and he wrote that lovely thing.
Yeah, but you mean that the same Andy Roberts who played with Ian Matthews?
Yep, that's the
Right.
one.
So it's it's a very very tight world.
Oh, it is. It gets smaller by the minute, doesn't it?
Yeah. So this it's interesting, semi fairy tale character, but after all of these years of absence, people still know who you are. So
I know.
how do you
I'm
feel about
amazed.
it?
Well, I'm amazed, really. I don't have a huge amount of self-confidence, so um, I'm always pleased and kind of um, well delighted when people say, "Oh yes, you were in that band and you did this and you did that," and I think, gosh, they remember. Because I did stop for so many years, but I guess the three or four bands I was working with were kind of quite well known.
I mean, you left such a legacy, and maybe do you think that all these years of absence have they turned you into a kind of a legend?
Well, I wouldn't say so myself, but that's the kind of PR tag that one gets. But there's an awful lot of legends reappearing from out of wherever they went. I just I really should have got taken on a gypsy caravan and gone, roaming through Europe or something, like many of the other people who've returned, like Anne Briggs and Sheila MacDonald, Vashti Bunyan. They always did sort of very romantic things, living in Scotland and that. Me, I just stayed in Oxfordshire making cassettes.
I guess Ronnie Lane beat you to it.
Sorry, who?
Ronnie Lane
Ronnie?
from Small Faces.
Oh yes, I guess.
He had a traveling caravan in the late 70s.
Uh, oh yes. Well, I didn't fancy going off travelling, so I didn't. So I just kind of sat here in this house making cassette tapes with my husband, which is what we ran a business doing that for 25 years almost.
But this let me repeat, semi fairy tale character and this legend thing. It runs an interesting parallel, like you being introvert, and you. It was like that in on Enchanted Garden, and then with talking with strangers, it's like suddenly turned into an extrovert.
Yes. Well, the difference was that I'd made the three albums with Mark Swordfish, and I'd just been he'd been really in charge of what was happening, what happened to my voice and how the words were and everything, which was fine because I was out of practice and didn't know. But with talking with strangers, I had Alistair Murphy, the curator, and Tim Bonus producing and recording me, and they knew that the important thing was the words rather than the music that surrounded it. So they pushed my voice to the fore and then created this wonderful music to go with it. So it was the best of both worlds. Does that make sense?
Yes, but still, can you compare this? Who would you call yourself? An introvert or extrovert?
Mm, um, depends. It really does depend. If I'm just being normal me, I'm fairly introvert. But if I'm being Judy Dyble, then I can be quite extrovert. Especially if I'm nattering on Facebook or something like that. If I'm not actually talking to people directly, then I can be quite extrovert.
Internet provided you with the means to reach out and be there.
Yes, yes, it did. Yes, it, I didn't want to be on the internet, but my daughter needed the internet to help her when she left university to, get jobs and things. So when she got her job and left home, I was left with the internet. So I thought, well, I better see what I can do with it. And discovered all these things like, well, MySpace at first, and places like that, and discovered, that if you're careful, you can do an awful lot of things with the internet, and it's quite good fun.
I mean, awful in every sense of the word.
Yes, yes. Well, it's people do complain about the internet that it's intrusive, and everything's known by everybody. But if you just think of it as, if there's something you don't want everybody to know, then don't put it anywhere near the internet.
It's logical.
Yeah, but people don't seem to realize that. I think, a lot of people think Facebook, and they say what they want to their friends, and they don't realize that it sort of goes out into the world.
On a side note, today I read a great piece of news on Facebook
Yeah,
about advertisement. I think in Spain, it's about child abuse.
yeah.
Uh, did you read it? No.
No, I haven't seen.
It's like a face of a child on the billboard, and
Oh, the one, yes, the children can see the
yes,
phone
yes,
number, but an adult can't. Brilliant.
yeah.
That is
I just love it. It's
Yeah,
using the technology exactly the right way.
that's right. That's right. Yes, indeed. That's how it should be used. Um, I guess so. Um, now it's known. If someone else wanted to read it, they'd just go down to child level, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but anyway, let them know about it and
Yeah,
be careful.
yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
back to juxtaposition in your career and your life. I know you're not so comfortable about keeping you up with folk style, with folk rock. But I think you're one of the few persons who balanced progressive rock and folk rock.
Yeah, yes, I guess I have, but I never do anything intentionally. It's just the way it's turned out. I didn't want to be stuck with the label folk, because to most people that is kind of, traditional English folk, and I never have been that. Not in Fairport, not with Giles and Fripp, not with Trader Horn. It's never been that kind of traditional English folk. So I'm quite happy to be prog folk.
But anyway, all your latest albums after you come back, they still have this folk element in it.
But they do, yes. But they have a story element, or the lyrics I sing um, all have a story behind them, and I guess that's what the folky thing is. It tells a story. Um, but I try not to tell a whole story. I just try to tell something that means something to me, but it might resonate with someone else, but it might not mean the same thing.
It's
Gosh, I am being obscure, aren't I?
musical impressionism.
Yeah, yeah. Oh gosh, that's a good one. I should write that down.
But how much do you contribute to musical side, not only lyrical?
It depends on what I'm presented with. If I've written the words and I give them to someone else to write the music, then I don't have a huge amount to do with that. I'm quite happy for other people to just do what they want with the words. If somebody sends me uh, some music to write words to, then I will probably, unless there's a very definite tune within the music, I will probably create the tune that goes with the music as well as the words. Um, and quite often it'll be something completely different to what the people who'd written the music thought it was going to be. So that's quite interesting.
Uh,
Then of course I get people like I don't know if you've heard of a band called Sleepyard, a Norwegian band.
mhm.
He does a lot of kind of ambient, it's difficult to describe, but there's not a definite tune to it. It's just sort of music, and I've done some words for him, sung for him, and I've just found a tune within his not exactly give you a clue music. Do you know what I mean? I can't describe it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like a
I get the
soundscape.
drift, but do you mean that if you've written the words, you never try to put tune to it? You always give it away to
Yeah,
somebody?
I prefer to do that. Yes, because I because I don't know what they're going to fit, and because I have rheumatoid arthritis, I can't play the piano anymore, and I can't really play my harp, my auto harp. So
Mm.
I'm kind of stuck with what music I can create.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, I don't think I'm very good at doing actual music. I'm
Yeah,
better at writing words.
but do you think this folk label does it? Is it connected to your fervent convention past? Does it
Yeah.
cast a shadow still?
Yes, it does. Because they are so known for taking traditional English folk music and adding a rock beat to it and turning it into the beginning of folk rock, which is wonderful. And that's exactly what they did. When I was with them, we we were inventive, or they were inventive, but in a different way because we were taking like American folk rock music and reassessing it and making our own version of that.
Yeah, interesting thing that on your album with Fairport, I found a piece by Harvey. What's his?
Harvey Brooks.
Harvey Brooks. Harvey
Uh,
Brooks lives in Jerusalem now.
oh, does he?
Yeah, and I try to reach him many times. It's
Yeah,
from me it's hour and a half to Jerusalem by bus.
yeah.
So I would just love to meet him and to talk to him in person, but he never answers. He
Uh,
prefers to be posting something or reposting something on Facebook rather than getting in touch.
well, that's yes. Some people are like that. Some people really sort of don't really just want to talk. Really, I suppose. That was Jean, Jim and Jean. I got that album. I can't remember what their surname is. Jean Ray,
Mm.
um, who wrote One Sure Thing. That was the track.
Yeah,
Uh,
but and you wrote a portfolio,
yes.
and a singer who writes instrumental music. So how did it happen?
Well, it was just a small tune I'd worked out on the piano because I thought it was jolly, and Ashley added bass to it, and then everybody else added everything else to it. So it was just a small, silly tune.
And you never wrote words for it?
No, no, wasn't really a wording. Wasn't really set. It wasn't made for words. It was just a little song, little tune.
It's a bit unique, a singer writing but not singing.
Yeah, well, I do like to be different.
Yeah. It's interesting, when I re-listened recently to this album, I found this interesting thing with Ian Matthews. In Decameron, it looks like he's being on your territory vocally. He's trying to sing high instead of inviting you for the
Yeah,
harmony for this part. So,
there was it was a very odd thing having Ian join the band. It, I think I felt he was brought into the band because they just wanted to extend the vocal range. Um, but Ian was he'd been in pop bands, so he was of a different kind of singer. I think he began to really find his own feet when he began to sing with Sandy. I think his voice and mine kind of clashed a bit. Um,
yeah,
uh,
that's what I meant. He's been on your territory, in your range.
yeah, yes, that's right. Yes, I think he. But most of the songs that we did on that album, apart from the newer ones, the newer written ones, I'd been singing for 6 months before he arrived, so I knew them off by heart. Um, it was strange,
And
but
another
that's
strange thing
Fairport. Yeah.
is he preferred to be called Ian MacDonald instead of Matthews.
Yeah, well, that was the name he was using then because I think his stepfather's name was MacDonald, something like that. But when I left Fairport and joined, I came across Ian MacDonald, who
Yeah, I
the
know.
other Ian MacDonald.
Oh,
People get this very confused. They all
no,
think it's
no.
the
So
same name, but it's not.
I never, because I know this other Ian MacDonald's work rather well,
Yes, of course.
with Crimson, with Foreigner,
Yeah,
and on his solo album.
yeah.
So
That's
I hope one day to interview him as well.
yes. Well, he's in New York. He's
Yeah, I
he's a
know.
he's a lovely man. I haven't spoken to him for quite a long while, but every now and again he'll be in touch. Um,
And yeah, carry
so
on.
so that was it. So Ian MacDonald, Fairport Ian MacDonald, changed his name to Ian Matthews because he didn't want to be confused with Ian MacDonald, who I was then working with.
And then he added another I to his
Yeah.
name.
Yes, just I think to show his Scottish heritage.
Yeah, it's logically if he got rid of McDonald, so why not put another Scottish thing in?
Yes, well, why not just change your name?
And you mentioned Sandy. A strange thing is when I listened to Arena Nevada, the bonus track on their reissue of Fairport Convention, I was pretty sure that it was Sandy there. But then I saw this video of you singing it, and I think I discovered I was wrong.
Yeah, well, Sandy did sing Reno, Nevada, when she joined the band. When she sang it differently, obviously, and I think by then they decided to work out a harmony instead of just doing it straight the way I'd done it with Ian. Um, I think I only met her once,
Uh, but
and it's quite interesting that people think I had a lot to do with her, but I never knew her very well. She was
but
just someone else.
this version of Reno Nevada with you singing that the one that I thought it was Sandy on there, it completely knocks down the words of Joe Boyd, who writes in his book that you had a tentative voice.
Yes, I know. It was a bit. I thought that was a bit unkind, shall we say? And he also said that something similar on the Fairport Convention documentary, and I thought you didn't have to say that. But there you go. That's what they felt. That's what they felt. I
But,
I know I know what I know that I was in tune. I know
Yeah,
that I
yeah,
wasn't
but
texting.
I don't mean, and possibly he didn't mean that you weren't in tune. I mean that your voice was becoming richer and richer as you progressed with Fairport and beyond.
Yeah, yes, yes, I think it did. It grew because, with practice it does.
Uh,
Um,
and still, many people remember you by knitting on stage rather than singing. Isn't it a bit insulting?
well, I suppose not many people did knit on stage, and in fact, I only knitted a couple of times.
Rick Wakeman eat curry just once, but everybody said that he
Yeah,
was doing it every time during somebody else
yeah,
solo.
I know it's silly, isn't it? And the stupid thing is, I can't knit. I cannot knit for toffee. Everything I knitted looks like either a dish rag or the Eiffel Tower because I can't. I'm useless at the tension of knitting, so it sort of starts very small and then gets very big at the bottom. And then I gave them away as dishcloths because I used
Uh,
huge needles and string, so it was uh, it was just something for me to do while the big solos were going on.
and then on Fairport's website, there's I think not too many mentions of you. Uh,
No, there are one or two, but they they've had so many people in the band. Um, I don't know, but
but can we say that if it wasn't for you, they wouldn't have got Sandy in?
no, I don't think they would because it was only after they got rid of me that they realised that everybody was asking where the girl singer was and thought they'd get better find another one. So, you know, it's one of those difficult things. Who knows what would have happened if I would have stayed? But then I always say if I'd stayed with Fairport, they wouldn't have done what they did, and I wouldn't have gone on to play with the fantastic people that I have played with since. So, swings and roundabouts. But I think Fairport were just a tiny little bit unkind. but
Yeah,
but there you go.
but they
Hey,
branch
we
out. This year they have Alice Cooper at Crop
yeah.
Ready.
Yes, that's quite fun.
That goes to show their range.
Mm. Yeah, don't say too much because I want tickets to go to that.
But and then you worked with Fripp.
Yes, dear
Uh,
Robert.
yeah, but did you see any glimpses of future King Crimson in the music they played when you were in the band?
No, actually, I don't think I did. Um, because they were a very, very tight threesome. It was all musically very, very tight. But I'm just trying to think how to say this. Um, they were very into being eccentric Englishmen at the time of Giles and Fripp, and it was only when I left and Pete Giles left and um, they began to, I don't know, loosen up and get loud and do what they did. Um, I mean, I was I was at the beginning of it all, but I can't claim to have had a huge amount of influence really,
But
except
wasn't it you who brought Ian MacDonald together with Fripp?
oh yes, that's true. Yes, yes, because I was going out with Ian at the time, and I'd been doing some playing with him, musically, as it were, um, and we thought it might be good to try and find some more musicians, and put an ad in the paper, um, and I think we put Ian's phone number in because Ian was better at talking to people about music because I know nothing. I know nothing. Um, and so Pete Giles um, answered the ad, and that's how we all got together. But I guess
and Pete Sealfield was already writing for them, right?
No, no. He was writing with Ian. He hadn't met Giles and Fripp, and I don't even remember him being at any of the uh, meetings we had with GGNF. I
So,
don't think he was
so
there.
there we go. If it wasn't for you, there wouldn't be I Talk to the Wind.
I guess. Well, I suppose. I guess. I
And
mean, I hate to take credit for it, but yeah, I guess.
how did you feel about Pete Sinfield lyrics? You covered C'est la vie on your latest album, and I think it's the best version I've ever heard.
Well, I've always loved that song. My husband and I used to. We knew Pete and his then wife Stephanie quite well. We went. We were on a going to visit various relatives and things, and called in and stayed overnight at their house, at Pete's house, and he'd just finished doing that Greg Lake album, and he played it to us, and that and I Believe in Father Christmas were the two standout tracks I thought, and I always thought I'd love to sing that. The music was so great. So 30 odd years later, I did.
Yeah, and it fits the theme of this album perfectly.
Yes. It's I haven't done a cover version of anything on the new album. I don't know quite why.
Yeah,
Did seem to be a problem.
C'est c'est la vie.
Yeah, on Talking with Strangers, yes, but on the new album that
Ah,
I'm
yeah,
imminent.
you're talking about new album, but all right, all right. But you gave this song "C'est la vie" this a crystal feel that Greg Lake didn't have.
Well, we tried to make it different. I mean, obviously the arrangement was done by Alistair and Tim, so and they wanted to make it kind of different. I said I want to do this song, and so they took it away and came back with a different version of using piano instead of guitar, um, and because I wanted extra female voices, I asked Julianne Reagan and Celia Humphreys to add some vocals to it. So that's why it's so swooping and wonderful, because they're there as well. I'm
And
really lucky in the people I knew.
and you also got Jackie McShee from Pentangle.
Yes. She wasn't on C'est la vie. She was on Dreamtime and part of the harp song.
Yes, but she's like another legend from folk circles.
I know, it's my astral folk legends. I gathered them all together, my ladies.
Your friends with them, or
Yeah.
was it a purely business relation?
No. Celia, I've known forever. Jackie, I've also known her because Fairport and Pentangle's paths used to cross at various gigs that we did, up and down the country. Um, so I've known Jackie for forever, and I've known Celia forever. Julianne, I only got to know reasonably recently, but she's become a good emailing friend, and she's actually written a song with me on the new album.
And
Which
you
is
also worked briefly with the ladies in the Incredible String Band.
well, yes. I mean, everybody says, "Oh, you're an incredible string band." But actually, what happened was because Joe Boyd was managing the Incredible String Band and Fairport. Um, Sometimes our visits to the studio would coincide with the Incredible String Band being there. I'm not quite sure how, but for the Minotaurs song, they wanted a choir, so they rounded up everybody who was in the studio who could sing. So that was all of Fairport and me and various other people, and we were the kind of Greek chorus of
Ah.
Minotaurs song. So it wasn't quite, they invited me
Ah.
to sing. It was
No,
just
it's a repeating scenario because there were two very different bands: Heavy Metal Kids in the 70s and Smokey.
oh yeah, Yes.
Smokey sang background vocals on a heavy metal kids album just because they happened to be in one studio.
Yeah. Well, that's right. I mean, that's the way it works often. If you're in the right place at the right time and you say yes, you end up doing something that ends up being quite good.
And another episode in your career was the Mouseproof album with Jerry Fitzgerald,
Yes, I know. Did.
whoever he is.
I spoke to him the other day. He's a lovely man. Um, he shared a flat with my late husband long before I was ever on the scene. And his room was full of electronic equipment, and he was forever taping stuff. And he was the original. I can't think how you describe it. Someone who had taped everything, anything that was going on. He'd think, I'll just make a tape of a whole day.
Let's call him a sonic hoarder.
That's the word. Yes, that's brilliant. And he was making this album Mouseproof, and because I was there, he said, would I do vocals? So I did. So that was how I got onto that. The thing was, I had left Trader Horn, and Pi would not let me be credited on the album because they were cross with me, because they'd released Trader Horn and I was their artist, I suppose. So I wasn't allowed to be credited until very recently.
Yeah, but by the way, why do you think it didn't work out with you and Giles and Fripp?
I think probably because I'd kind of split up with Ian, and it was difficult. I also think that because I had been asked to leave Fairport, I didn't really want to put myself in the position of being asked to leave another band, so I left before they had the chance to throw me out, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but Trader Horn was a completely your creation with Jackie McCauley, but you played you were on equal footing there, right?
Yeah, that's right. Actually, it started off as a trio.
Yeah,
with,
I know. Let me quote Pete Sears.
yeah,
I interviewed Pete, and that's what he wrote. Judy is still a wonderful artist and has been recording some very cool new material in the
yes,
UK, which occasionally sends my way.
I do. Yes, indeed. I'm very fond of Pete. We have the odd email conversation or Facebook conversation. With we're talking about maybe doing some sort of reviving the original Trader Horn with the three of us, between Jackie and Pete and myself. Maybe maybe we'll get around to doing something.
But yeah, so sonically, it's like on this album, you had a greater empathy with Jackie McCauley than with Matthews.
Yeah, I guess so. Yes. I think it worked with Jackie because we weren't boyfriend and girlfriend. We were just musicians working together. Even though, when their press photographs are taken, it was, put your arm around Jude, or, you put your arm around Jackie and pretend you're... And we were both quite uncomfortable about that because we both had our own boyfriends and girlfriends. But I don't know, we just managed to work well together. And who knows why? And, another one of my mysteries.
But there's still, as I said, even though there is a greater empathy, there's still, I don't know, this awkward feeling like you're being cast in supporting role for the most part on the album, a supporting role to Jackie, even on Morning Wave, which is your song.
Yeah, well, he was the one with all the musical ability. I mean, he is a terrific musician and lovely, and it would not have been intentional, but he was so excited with his music and how he wanted it, how he could hear it to be that, I just was just the singer really. I'm quite happy. It was, I suppose, really they weren't my songs. Only Morning Way and Velvet to Atone. Those were the only two that I'd written. Um, and I guess I must probably be a bit happier singing stuff I've written.
And there is, on your album there is some song that hints on you loving vaudeville or music hall. If I had a ribbon bow,
Yes.
on Enchanted Garden, Rivers Flow, which is reggae, but still it's like music hall. Which is,
Yeah, yeah. Well, I quite like things like that. I do like. I don't like um to always do the same kind of stuff. Uh, with Fairport, some of the songs we used to do were jug band songs, and um, they were huge fun to do because it was light-hearted. Um, oh, what's the name? Um, uh, Loving Spoonful type stuff. And they're wonderful stuff. So, and I'd always liked the like jazzy, swingy bits. So when we heard Ribbon Bow, because Fairport was always very good at picking stuff that was completely out of character. um, we decided that would make a good single. It didn't do very well, but then I think we were far beyond our time, far too early for.
yeah, for far beyond as well. And when you sang your version, Nobody Loves You When You're Down and Out, I think Eric Clapton's version might be very heavy influenced by your version, because neither you nor him did do it in traditional bluesy way.
No, no, no. Well, I just did it. I just did it because Jackie is a very good blues guitarist, and so that was his kind of arrangement of it, and I was quite happy to do that way.
And there is a song that sounds very modern, and it's like Through the Bridge to the Present. It's Velvet to Alone.
Velvet to a Tone, yes. That should have been played with Martin Quissington, who wrote the music. He composed the music that went with it, but he'd done a sort of disappearing thing. I think he had a kind of breakdown. But he'd written the music for it, so I played that on piano and sang. And it's quite a stark piece, really. I don't know what it meant.
But
It's just one of those things. But
and who he played? I mean, Quittenton before Stewart. When you
he was
when
in a band called Steamhammer.
yeah, right, with
And
Martin Pugh.
Martin Pugh, yes, that's right. And that was how I met him, because he started going out with my best friend that I shared a flat with. So we ended up with Martin and my friend Sue. They had a flat, and I had a room in it, and we all got on very well. And it was lovely, but he really wasn't cut out for the rock music business. He was great, but his he would have been very good with guitar craft, I think, that sort of Fripp thing, because he used to spend hours just playing his classical guitar.
And by the way, was this album by Trader Horn a concept one?
Nope. Not to my knowledge, no. It's just the songs that Jackie had written. It wasn't didn't have a theme at all. The only theme was the music that was played in between the tracks, which kind of dragged it all together. And Jackie played the bits from one side, and I had another piano tune that I worked out, and that was played in between the tracks on the second side.
Yeah, who played most of the piano, you or Jackie?
What on well, I played piano on Velvet to a Tone, and on the little bit that the bit that ran through the second side. But
Because
otherwise,
the piano on the album really stands out to my ears.
yeah, that mostly it was Jack because he's such a very talented multi-instrumentalist. Um,
And and then you worked with the band the Dyble Cocktail and the MBs.
yes, Dyble Coxell and the Miller Brothers. That was Stephen Phil Miller from Delivery. Phil Miller went on to work with Hatfield and the North and various other bits of Canterbury. So they'd come from the Canterbury scene. Lowell was just amazing. He
Yeah,
was,
I read what you wrote about him and also what Morgan Fisher
yeah,
wrote about him.
he was a total one-off. It's such a shame that he became so ill and died. He also did a lot of work with Jerry Fitzgerald. They had several albums out, and um, Jerry played with him in various combinations of musicians.
But how did this combination with you and him come about?
Well, I can't remember. I must have met him somewhere. I think he may have been something to do. It might be something to do with my husband, who was at the time writing for various music magazines and things. And I don't know. I can't remember.
And
It's just another thing I fell into.
were you really called sometimes Penguin Dust?
Yep, that's right. Yes, we had our own song. We are known as Penguin Dust, and this is our song. It really isn't very short, but then it isn't long. We'll sing it in the morning and we'll sing it every night. If you have a pint of penguin dust, you know you'll be all right.
Oh, you know, yesterday I was treated to a guitar song by Dave Ball, and now I have a feast to my ears from
Yeah,
you.
yes, it was a very silly song, but we did sing some very strange songs in Penguin Dust. Stout-hearted Men, which is a kind of a union song, I think. Give me a man who are stout-hearted men. And then Lowell would do one of his very strange, wonderful improvisations. Then we do Violets of Dawn, and then it was very weird, but people seem to like it.
And was it your last band before you went into family life?
Yeah, more or less, yes. I did a couple of more things which didn't kind of do very much, but I kind of gave it up, particularly when I had children, because I don't think I could have brought up the children and been on the road.
But
I know,
you could have been working from home or like in a studio.
yeah, but we couldn't afford a studio. Yeah, studio. The studio that we had was just a basement and a Revox. Um, uh, it was no, it just didn't seem to be the right thing to do, so I kind of stopped doing music.
Were there times when you, for instance, read about Paul McCartney and Wings and his Boeing and his family on tour, and you thinking, if I had this chance to take family with me on the road, I'd like to do that?
No, I didn't. And the only time that I sort of felt a little bit sad was I did a couple of reunion concerts with Fairport at their Fairport Festival, their Cropredy Festival, in 81 and 82, I think it was, or 80 and 81. Um, and my children were very little. I think my daughter was like 9 months old and my son was 3. Um, and because I'd stopped for even a few years, you get out of the habit of doing live gigs. Um, and people's lives have moved on. So although you know who they are and what they're doing, it's hard to describe. But I didn't seem to fit anymore. But we did continue to go to the festival every year, and sometimes they'd sing us, Fairport or Ian MacDonald or Ian Matthews would sing some song that I'd sung with Fairport, and I'd think, oh, I used to sing that, and I'd be a bit melancholy, but then, you take the children home, put the dog to bed, get
But
up in the morning.
did you miss music, or you were just singing around the house?
Well, I wasn't even singing around the house much. It's a bit too busy because we were running this kind of fairly
Well,
big.
I mean lullabies,
Yeah. I
this
mean,
kind of
we
things.
we listened to stuff, but I don't know. I kind of shut myself off from it really because I didn't want to feel I'd missed out. So I did village pantomimes instead and sang in those a couple of times for a couple of years. That was fun.
But
Um,
what their session with Mike Bett?
oh yes, that was before I left London. He'd been he was a friend and was had done some recording of me with his thing, but nothing came of it. So I'm left with an acetate of a song.
So he always liked to be working with female singers because lately he had Katie Melua.
Yes, yes. Well, he also worked with Art Garfunkel as well. So he's not quite a female singer.
Yeah, but I think he even had George Harrison on his album.
Yeah, yes. Mike is a very top man. He's now the deputy head of the BPI, I think. So he's something to be reckoned with. But I have
Yeah. I recently watched a documentary on him, some 20 minutes, something like this, on YouTube.
yeah. He's but I was talking to him the other day. I was talking to him the other day, as you do,
Yeah.
because we've reconnected on Facebook. Um, and
But there's no chance of you working together.
sorry.
So there's no chance of you working together again.
Oh, I don't think so. I think he's so incredibly busy with everything that he's doing, and I think he likes to concentrate completely on what he's doing, which is sensible. He doesn't like to diversify his concentration.
Yeah, but with you, he wouldn't have to foster talent. With you, he would have a class and a style and
Yeah.
professionalism.
Well,
Okay,
yeah.
you wouldn't have been a toy in his hands. Yes, I give you that.
Well, I can only say I'm here if people want to work with me, and some people do, some people don't. It's all right.
Yeah, and when you returned from, let's call it a retirement,
Yeah.
you worked with the Talking Elephant label.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
they, if I'm not mistaken, they somehow related to King Crimson, right?
No.
No?
Completely nothing to do with King Crimson. Um, Elephant Talks was one of King Crimson's songs,
Yeah, I
uh,
know.
and I don't know whether they called themselves after that, but then they weren't at all progressive. They were very much into the reissue market. Um, but they introduced me to Mark Swordfish, and from that came Enchanted Garden and the two other albums.
Yeah, but the covers of artwork of Spindle and Whirl reminded me of Crimson's blue, blue, red, and yellow albums.
Oh,
The,
did it?
this, a logo, a single logo on color background, single color background.
Oh, right, yes. No, yeah, I think well maybe Mark designed the Spindle and Whirl ones, and I think he was looking for something so kind of in that era because he likes that sort of stuff.
And when I first saw this title "World," I started thinking it means whirl, like spinning or world, and it kind of harmonized for me with spindle. This spinning thing,
Yeah.
spindle and whirl.
Yeah, well, the whirl is another part of the spinning um, method. It's some part, it's some mechanical little bit. When people spin, you've got the spindle, and then you have the whirl, which I don't know, there's I don't know, warp and weft or something like that. So that was what that was all about. I never did quite understand, but
Yeah, so was it a kind of trilogy of these two albums?
yes, yes. Well, we'd done all these songs, and there was too much for one album, and just about enough for two. But Mark, because Robert had gone to the trouble of doing a little guitar part and soundscape for one of the songs, um, Mark wanted to do a couple of different versions because he's very into the remixing stuff. So one of the songs, "Shining," has a
Yeah,
version.
and Forever Shining.
Yeah, and there's another version again on the limited edition vinyl that we did, which of course nobody hears now.
Yeah, can we this spindle wall thing? Is it somehow related to the homespun feeling of some of your songs?
No, we were trying to think of a titles, and Mark came up with Spindle and then the Whirl. So I'm sorry,
Ah, all right.
nothing so nothing so deep
And
as
there is a shift on those two albums. You sometimes seem very, so to say, nonchalant or spectral, but on Strangers you're very emotional.
yes. I think it's to do with the production more than the songs. The songs meant every single song that I've written, particularly with Enchanted Garden, Spindle and Whirl. They all have something close to me in them. But Mark, um, because he was with Astralasia, and that's a kind of trance dance unit, that's his kind of music. So he used the voice as another instrument rather than supporting the voice, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but it made the songs, very immersive.
Yes, yes. And he also used quite a lot of treatments on my voice, which I was not terrifically happy with, but that was the way he wanted to do it. But that was all right. I was learning. I was trying out stuff that hadn't been available when I'd stopped. And
Yeah,
I was just really pleased that I could actually record without going, the expense of going into a studio because Mark just came up and recorded on a laptop.
and you covered See Emily Play and I Talk to the Wind.
Yes.
With Talk to the Wind, it's like you reclaimed it. Because you sing it like you did with phrasing, like way back with Giles and Fripp, not like King Crimson did it.
Well, I can only sound as I do.
No,
I never
no,
quite.
I mean, not that sound, but with little melodic differences between.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, it was always a lovely song, and I did want to sing it again, and Mark was very keen for me to do that. Um, and it was okay. It was good. It's a nice version.
Yeah, and why see Emily play?
Emily. Well, in between, one of the things I had done was work with a man called Adrian Wagner, who was he was connected to um, Robert something or another from Hawkwind. Robert, um, something like
Calvert.
Robert. Sorry.
You mean Robert from Hawkwind?
I think so. Yes, Robert's. But
Calvert. There was
that's the
Robert
one.
Calvert.
That's the one, Robert Calvert. And he was also the person who brought the Moog synthesizer to the forefront, and he was he was involved with Robert Moog. Moog, is it Moog?
Hmm.
And so he was doing a lot of synthesized music in the 70s, or yeah, 70s, 80s, and he was making an album of stuff for Philips or something of synthesizer music, and he'd done this version of See Emily Play and wanted me to sing it. So I did, and it was wonderful, but it didn't actually go onto that album. But all those years later, I'd really loved the way Adrian had arranged See Emily Play. It was very, sort of da 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 dee, and it was, much more a forceful version. So I said to Mark, why didn't we use that as a basis for See Emily Play, and I'll sing that again. So
Yes.
that's how that came about.
And there is a song called Misty Morning, which to me is like harking back to both Morning Way and the Fairport Convention.
Yes, Misty Morning. Is that the is that the welly the keep your wellies and vest on when wandering in the dew? Yes, I think it was. Yes, that was my version. Well, it was a kind of sort of a version of a traditional song, a warning thing. Don't go off with your lover into the mists of the morning, because you'll end up with pneumonia and die.
And there is one refrain from your album that keeps ringing in my head. It's "I'm lost for words,"
Yes.
but still you have a knack for, as Lewis Carroll called it, portmanteau words like "star crazy," "jazzbird," "harp song."
Yes.
So, is it librarian in you speaking?
I don't know. It's I guess I kind of sort of add words together when I can't think of another word which would describe what I want. So um, I do tend to sort of mix words together and make something. I've got one of the new songs I've got is called Feather Dancing,
Feather.
which
Yeah.
is
Hmm.
quite a sweet song. It's all about me and my sisters when we were little, dancing in a room with no light on. It's called dancing. You're dancing in the moonlight when you're little. No word, no, there's no tune, but you've got it all in your head, and you're dancing and bouncing off the chairs and the rest of it.
And you like to write epics like Harp Song or Honey Sweet?
The harp song I wrote. Um, Tim and Alistair said they wanted to do a really long song, so um, I wrote a song or a poem of my life, and Tim adapted it to fit the music that they were creating. Um, so it was kind of a joint effort for words for that one. Um, it
And
was quite interesting.
yeah, and how hard or vice versa easy it was for you to make an autobiography?
Oh,
Or
easy peasy. It was all I needed was to think of something that kind of I could hang the whole song on, and that was the playing of the auto harp, because I played it so it's my instrument I played 40 years ago, and I'd continued to play it with almost everybody. Um, so once I'd sort of thought about it, and the words came quite easily actually, and then Tim adapted them and evolved them and turned them into harp song.
when you are looking back, uh, did it bring some forgotten memories?
Um, yeah, well, yes and no. Yes, because Tim's adaptation of the words were because they weren't. It wasn't what I'd actually written. So his adaptation of what had happened was not quite what had actually happened. So it was, one step removed from what I'd done.
But you're talking about one song. But what I meant was the whole
Sorry.
record.
The whole record. Oh, um, you better tell me what you wanted to know again, because I've forgotten.
Yeah, I meant sometimes when you're on this, walking down the memory lane, with the goal of writing an album related to your life. So sometimes you might discover something that you completely have forgotten about.
Oh, yes, yes, indeed. Yes, I'm always doing that because, if I'm talking to somebody like you and you ask me a specific question about something, it'll send off a train of memory to something I'd forgotten about. So, yes, the songs do that as well. But I kind of try and put myself into the songs when I'm writing them, so that I don't know where they're going to go when I start them.
It's like everybody compares their song with children.
Yeah.
So
Yes. Well, you know when they're finished. You absolutely do know when they're finished. Occasionally, with some of the songs I've written, Alistair will say on this new album, he said, "Look, we do need to have a middle eight here. Can you write something?" And I think, oh, but that was finished. But then suddenly I'll think, right, we can add this little bit in here, and the words will come. I always think that if a song is going to be a valuable song, it it writes itself more or less. Yeah.
it reminded me of one quarrel that I had with my wife. Uh, she's a piano player. She's a
Yeah.
musicologist with a conservatory background,
Yeah.
and I was asked to write. I write lyrics,
Yeah.
and I was asked to write lyrics for some stuff, but people sometimes tend, instead of sending the vocal line to top melody, they send me harmony,
Oh,
just
right.
harmony. And I'm not a composer. I cannot write a melody. I cannot write blues.
No.
Well, I mean, I can write blues, but I cannot write anything, other than blues.
Yeah.
And my wife, she said, "Let me try." Okay, she tried. She wrote something that eventually that guy, that producer, liked. But it was, I think, a unique quarrel, because she changed something, and I finished the lyrics by that time.
Oh,
And I
I
had to,
hate it when people change a lyric.
I had to break my, lyrical lines to fit her new melody lines.
Yeah. Yes.
It, it was screaming all around the house.
Sure, there was. It is very difficult. I mean, occasionally people will want to change a line, and they will want to change it to something else. And I say, well, okay, well, I'll change it. You can't change it. I have to change it because it is your baby. It's and if the wrong word is written, it changes the whole meaning of what you're trying to say, doesn't it?
Yeah, and still you like stepped back before all your guests on harp song. It was your creation anyway. Okay, you said it had been changed.
Yeah.
Like taken from you and changed, but it still was your creation, and you step back to let other people shine
Yeah.
uh, alongside you. But were you very aware that while you were creating an ultimate selling point, thanks to involvement of McDonald and Fripp, you were stealing a spotlight from yourself? Were you aware of
Uh,
that?
no, I didn't. Didn't occur to me. I was just, they were the they were part of my um my musical life, and I wanted them to be, part of the music because in it. There's bits. There's Simon from Fairport. He was playing on it, so I'd got a bit of that. I haven't got any. I didn't have anyone from Trader Horn, um, but there were. In I don't know. I don't think of it like that. I don't think of taking stuff from, I don't mind stepping back if that's the way the music needs to be.
Yeah, but now everybody says this is the record where Fripp and MacDonald play together after all those years. It's like people forgetting that it's a record by Judy Dyble. No, 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 not MacDonald and Fripp.
Yes, well, that I think that might be kind of a PR thing that people that the people who are promoting the album sort of say, look, this is what's happening. Um, yeah, I guess. It didn't strike me that that was that important actually.
But have you been in touch with Ian and Robert throughout all these years?
uh, with Ian every now and again, yes. Robert every now and again, yes. I email him every now and again, and I get a reply, um, which is nice. In fact, I saw Robert at the leaving reception of the Estonian ambassador um, a couple of years ago. And that was really nice because I met Toya for the first time, and she's so sweet. She's lovely. Um, but it was nice to talk to Robert again. Um, but musicians, the lives have changed so much, and they just go on. And if you're not completely there all the time, it's like trying to keep friends from school. The lives change and diverge, and there's only a certain amount of reference points that one has, which is fine. It's the way it is. I'm not making much sense here, I don't think.
But they readily agreed to play on your records?
Yes, they're happy to do so. Well, Robert sent us a soundscape, and Ian recorded his bits in America. So they weren't actually in the same place at the same time. But it was all stitched together by Alistair and Tim. So it worked really well.
Yeah, yeah. And with illustrations to the records. To me, it looks like Scheherazade stories with an English flavor to them.
Now, which pictures are you talking about? Is it
Talking with strangers?
Yeah, it's got two. I have two different sets of artwork for it.
I mean this American one.
Oh, the American one, yes. That's the Jackie Morris one, yes. She is a brilliant illustrator and artist. And she illustrates children's books and also some. There's a science fantasy writer called Robin Hobb, and she's done the illustrations for the front covers of those books. Yes, her work is beautiful, and she very kindly let me have it. And she's done one or two things for the next album, but mostly I've used another friend who's a mutual friend called Catherine Hyde, who does beautiful work as well. You should Google them, Jackie Morris and Catherine Hyde.
Yeah, Jackie Morris. I already visited her site.
It's beautiful, isn't it? It's just one.
Yeah, but it's like really like Scheherazade.
Yes.
This picture on the cover.
Yes. Well, that was one she had sort of hanging around that she'd already done, so she didn't do it specifically for this album. But because it had a greyhoundy type dog, I thought it was wonderful. Because, as you may know, I tend to rescue greyhounds.
Yeah.
So anything with a greyhound is my favourite thing.
Yeah, and this latest album, Strangers.
Yeah.
Tim Bowness.
Yeah.
it was interesting that you invited another male singer after all these years, after Fairpot and Treasure Horn, and
Oh,
uh,
yeah, but Tim has got such a fabulous voice. um, and it works well with my voice. There's, one time I had a choice of actually choosing a voice, and I was delighted that he worked with me.
and then Pat Mastelotto, did he come through Fripp connection?
No, he actually came through Tim, because Tim had used him on one of the No Man albums, and we were looking for some drumming work, and he said, "Well, we're going to try Pat Mastelotto," and the connection was nice because he was part of the current at the time, King Crimson. And Ian was part of the original King Crimson, so that was another link in the chain of people. It's quite good.
And then Simon House of this Hawken connection.
Yeah, I did quite a bit of creating work with Simon, music. He won't let me use any of the stuff that we created there, not the demos that we created. But I have used one of the songs that he wrote the music for on the new album. But you meet people and you talk to them and you work with them and then they go away again.
Is it, you mean Newborn Creatures?
Yeah. No. Newborn Creatures was an album that I'd made with two people, Marcus Reuter and Lee Fletcher, and there was a problem just after I'd paid for all the mastering and got everything organised, and they decided to take the music away, so I'm left with an album that I can't release. And they took the music away and they wrote new words for it and they've released it as their own album, so that's the way it goes.
You can write your own music to your words.
Yes, I can. Yes, and I am doing so, but it's quite hard to actually to do that. It's taking quite a while to get it to want to be able to face singing those words again.
Yeah, but now you're well into your next record, right?
Yes, it's finished.
It's already finished.
Yes, it's ready to go. We're just finishing off the artwork and it will be released with Gonzo again. Gonzo Multimedia.
When?
Hopefully, I think in June. That's the idea. And in fact, one of the songs that was on Newborn Creatures is actually on this new album with new music. And I'll gradually, I'll redo those songs, but that was painful time. I hated having lost the whole of the album.
And how it's gonna be called?
Sorry?
How it's gonna be called, this new album?
The new one is called Flow and Change.
Yeah, it's again with Simon House.
No. This is with Alistair Murphy, the curator. We've done an edit of one of the songs on YouTube. Have you come across that?
Yeah, but I didn't have time to listen to it.
Oh right. Well, that's one of the new songs on the new album, Flow and Change. Simon House. I've used one of the songs that was created with Simon. Is on this new album, and it's called Black Dog Dreams.
And you're continuing to write.
Yeah. I'm working. I'm writing some stuff with Oliver Kersbergen from Sleepyard, which is a Norwegian band. I think he's got a couple of things that are being released in America soon, and Matt Malley I'm working with, Was the ex-bass player of Counting Crows. We've written a song, and I don't know. I'll have to wait and see what happens. I find it quite hard to do the business side of an album at the same time as thinking about music. But I have done some nice stuff with Sand Snowman as well, so that's nice.
You're gonna be releasing new music every now and then.
Yeah, in a couple of months. Well, in fact, a month. Yeah, I did.
No,
Yes.
I mean after that album, you're gonna be writing next one.
Probably, yes, yes, yes. I'm sure we will start again. I'll probably warn poor Alistair out, but we'll see how this one goes. I never know what I'm going to do next. Actually, I spend my entire life waiting for seeing what turns up.
Let me tell you one thing, that it's gonna be hard to beat the beauty of strangers.
Yeah, I think yes, but I think we haven't tried to beat Talking with
Yeah, but
Strangers.
I mean, in listeners' perception, I listen to a lot of music, and I tend to separate interesting music, intellectual music, from the music I really like.
Yeah.
I give it to it when I hear good quality music, professional music, well composed music. But whether I like it or not, it depends.
Yeah, but that's how it should be, really, isn't it? I mean, you can't
Yeah,
like
especially
everything.
these new progressive bands. Sometimes you just want to throw all the promos away and put on some Gene Vincent.
Yeah, I tell you what, I think I better send you a track from the new album, and you can have a listen. Shall I do that?
I'll be privileged, my pleasure
Okay.
to, to,
Yes.
to, to hear
Uh,
it. Of course, I'm not gonna be sending it around, and
no, no.
for my
Of course
personal
not.
pleasure, I can just share it with my wife.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yes. Yes. Okay, I will do that for you then. Um, have I got an email address for you?
Uh, I'll send you it via Skype.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Yes.
One sec.
Or you can just send it to
Oh,
info@judydyble.com.
do you see it?
Sorry?
I've just sent it via Skype.
Oh, have you? Oh, right. Ooh. Yes. All right. Okay. I'll take that down and change it because I don't know how to do that when I'm talking to you at the same time.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Anyway, we can meet on Facebook. No
Yes.
problem.
Yeah.
Judy, I think that's about it. Thank you for your time.
It's been a pleasure. Lovely to talk to you.
When I get around to transcribing it, I'd like to send you a transcript to proofread.
Yes, absolutely fine. That would be great. Yes. See, just how can I get to that bit? Can I get to open that bit? Let's see. I can't do it. I'll send you my info. If I send you a track to listen to, you'll have my email address, and then you can send the transcription there.
Yeah,
Can't you? That works, doesn't it?
yeah, yeah. So it's been a pleasure and a privilege. So thanks a lot.
Oh, it's been
Uh,
lovely talking to
and
you.
please be healthy and in good spirits, and
And you, and
to
you.
take all the pleasures from life that you can.
I will. Yes, I shall go and feed the dog now.
Yeah. And
He's
now I'm
just,
gonna go and feed myself.
yeah. Okay then. Right, lovely to
So,
talk to you, and
yeah,
I'll send you a track.
yeah, thanks a lot.
Okay,
Have a nice evening.
and you. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye.